Well, hey guys, welcome to another episode of 0 to 60. Now, before we get into, well actually, on this episode, the main thing that I want to get done, I want to do a compression test on that E90 engine and really just start working out if it is a good engine. Whether it gets used in my E92 or whether it's going to sit on the shelf and get used for another project, we really should check it over and make sure it's good. So that's what we're going to do. That's the main thing. But before we get into that, actually, two things I want to talk about. Firstly, thanks everyone for getting involved in the comments section, supporting 0 to 60, and especially you members that have joined and subscribed. That's frigging really appreciated. Can't believe the help we get. And it's awesome to see people getting involved in building 0 to 60 with us. It's really good. We really appreciate it. The other thing I wanted to mention, you might have noticed yesterday in that video where we were taking the engine out, I started to freak out about the rain, and this is why. So when it rains here, the ground just turns really soft and squelchy and muddy, and well, you can hear it. Especially that section over there where the car is, it's particularly soft, and trying to roll the engine crate around in this sort of terrain would have been an absolute nightmare. But yeah, luckily we got it out yesterday. From what you saw in the video, basically from that point, we gave it a good gave it a good degrease there, and then we separated all the oil in the EPA approved oil separator over there, so it was all done properly, but we gave it a good degrease, got it in the van, and we moved it up to the shed. So the engine is now up here. If I can clean my feet again. Now up here, ready to be worked on. So I actually went through and I've started to make a list of things that I want to replace before it goes in. So if it does go in my car, and actually a quick update on my car, the E92 is sitting there nice and lonely. I'm waiting on a leak down tester, although I'm pretty confident that the issue is going to be in the bottom end. A few guys have shared forum posts and its symptoms really match a broken ringland. I'm pretty confident it's going to be a broken ringland, unfortunately. But assuming it is, let's just wait and see. Let's wait and see. The leak down test is going to tell us if it's top end or bottom end, but I'm pretty confident we're going to need this one. So even if this engine does go in my car, it's probably not going to be a forever engine. I've really been putting a lot of thought into it lately. We really love all the help we're getting with the comments, the subscribers, and I want to build it. I want to make this properly quick, which is completely not the ethos that it started with, being the budget build, but like any sort of performance car that you start modding, it's gotten out of hand already anyway, so we may as well do it properly. So I'm thinking what I'll probably do, if this does go in my car, it's only going to be in there for sort of 6 to 12 months, unless we blow it up before that again. But yeah, it's not going to be something that I need to be forever. So doing things like the rod bearings, I don't really want to get into that level of maintenance with this one. But if we build that engine, obviously that'll have new rods, so new rod bearings will come with that. So what I'm thinking with this one, if it's going to go in my car, I need to do common basic maintenance service items. So I started to do a list up, and the list is, we have on the list so far, actually looking at it starting at the bottom, I've got oil pan bolts, oil pan gasket. Now this doesn't appear to be leaking at all, but I think it would just be mad not to do it while we can get easy access to it. I will also, doing that will also give me access, well, take the pump, the pan off, so I can have a look inside, make sure there's no issues with the oil pump, that sort of stuff. Just a little bit of peace of mind while it's here. The oil pump gaskets are really, the oil pan gaskets are really cheap, as are the bolts, sort of sub $70 for the two, so that's a no-brainer in my eyes. Moving up the engine, this idler pulley, I've actually done the idler pulley on my E92. I'll just get it into the light there. Hopefully you can see it has already got the grooves worn in it. Hopefully you can see it there. So that one is actually showing some wear. Although the bearings feel fine, these you can also get really cheap, sort of sub $40. So I'll throw one of them on while it's out. The thing that's actually a current issue on this engine is the oil filter housing gasket and the oil cooler. Both of those are absolutely peeing out. In fact, that is what's caused most of the oil that you might have seen when the engine came out yesterday. All this section was covered in oil. Actually, just give me a sec. I might just put some extra lights on so you can see it a bit better. Okay, hopefully that makes it a bit more visible. Yeah, but basically, oil filter housing gasket, oil cooler housing gasket. With regards to the rocker cover, now this engine needs a rocker cover. It's got a window in it, which isn't supposed to be there. I put one on the E92 not that long ago. So what I'm going to do is use, assuming this is going to go in the E92, I will use the E92's rocker cover, and I'll just use a new gasket just to save spending the $200 because I can get a gasket from Clickable. I think they're about $30 for the valve cover gasket, so we'll go that route. In regards to the injectors, this engine is currently fitted with, I think these are index 7s from memory. No, that one's an index 2. So it doesn't have great injectors. I'm going to use the Index 12 injectors from the E92, and I've got on the list to order injector seals and not the retaining clips, but the washer things that the injectors clamp down onto. So I'll fit the Index 12s into this engine. I'm going to use my Elder coils, and I'll probably get a new set of spark plugs for it. And aside from that, I'm going to do all the silicon line. I despise blue silicon. So we'll replace all the blue silicon with black, and we'll also replace the vacuum line going down to the back wastegate as well. Now I'm going to fit it with my 17T turbos. The downpipe gaskets, again, they haven't done a lot of work. They should be fine to reuse from my car. I'm going to use new turbo to head seals or gaskets. I actually used genuine ones when I fitted the 17Ts to the E92, but I'll use the Chinese ones that I've got left over just to see if they work. I'm going to reuse the studs and the copper nuts from the E92. I know you're not supposed to, but I need to try and save some money where I can. And the other thing that I'll swap over from the E92 is the water pump and the thermostat. The ones on the E92 are both, well, actually the thermostat's only about a month old or 2 months old, and the water pump's under a year old, both genuine items. I'm going to use any of the rubber hoses. I'll just use the best from the two vehicles. I'll use my O2 sensors because I know they're genuine and not very old. And I think that should be pretty much, I think that's all I can think of. If I'm missing something, please let me know, but I think that should cover us for getting this in my car and being semi-reliable for sort of 6 to 12 months. Anyway, we better get on with this video. I'm going to do a compression test. Now I'm going to basically just power up the starter motor off my batteries that I've got over there. I'll take the throttle body off this time. I didn't do it when I did the compression test on the E92 a couple of weeks ago, where I should have, so that will give it free flow into the head. We'll get all the spark plugs out. Yeah, let's see what numbers it does. Well, the plan was to get everything ready to do the compression test on camera. However, we've got to cylinder number 5, and the spark plug doesn't want to come out. So it cracked pretty easy on the first turn. And now I'm just going basically 1.5 turns out, 1 turn in. Like it's tight, and then it gets really tight. So that's not good. That's not good at all. So it's either got carbon buildup on the plug, or the plug's damaged. I really don't know. I don't like the feel of it though. Yeah, that's way too much force to get out. So, fuck. I don't know why this would be. Hopefully there's just a ton of carbon on the plugs. They are the one-step colder NGKs, so they've been changed. The plugs don't look, they're not new, but they're not that old. And the others come out absolutely fine. Oh, it'll suck if this one's cooked. Feels like I'm re-tapping the head right now. This is really bad. Mike, yeah. Okay, this is how bad it is. I'm starting to sweat. I'm getting nervous about this. This is going to be expensive, I feel. Oh, man. I've dealt with seized plugs before. But normally once you crack them, you go a few turns and then they're good. And I've done quite a few turns before I turn the camera on. Two, three, four. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna have to start counting, so stop paying attention. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's still stiff, but it doesn't feel like it's chewing metal anymore. So it's probably just completely threaded and never coming out. Come on, please just be really carboned up. Please. And I'd say the threads are knackered. Well, I hope you could see on camera there, my heart had completely fallen through the floor. I got them all out. Actually, I'll show you the plugs in a second. Man, I was freaking out then. That plug did not want to come out. These are the plugs. 1 through to 6. Now, number 5, which was the problem one, you can see it's got, there's a little bit of carbon right down the bottom, but it has just got carbon on the threads, and these threads are really clean. So it has just grabbed. I don't know why it was such a bitch to get out. I've only ever had that happen once. It was on an old Ford that I was working on. But yeah, normally they'll free up, and then once you crack them, they're good. When I first pulled it out, I thought the threads were damaged. Sorry, it's probably not focusing. I thought the threads were damaged because they were so clean, but they're not. It's just, it's pulled. Oh, I don't know. Maybe the head's been cross-threaded. Now I did just off camera plug the, screw the compression tester into it, just got to know these threads are good. And it went straight in. So hopefully whatever was grabbing is fine. It was just dirty threads on the plugs. Okay, now I better show you the setup that we've got to do this compression test. I have got 2 batteries. This one is the better of the 2. And yes, I have got 2 chargers on it. It's just trying to get as much power into it as we can. This battery was out of one of Dave's cars, I think. I can't remember though. So it's not good enough to be a full-time battery in a car, but it will just turn this over while the plugs are out. So it's going to have to do for this case, although it's not going to crank perfectly. All I've done, I've got that battery lead going onto the main power wire there. That runs down through this cable and straight to the starter motor. Hopefully you can see it there. And then it runs from the starter motor over to the alternator right there. And all I'm doing with my starter switch, wherever that's gone, tucked away down here. All I'm doing with this starter switch is bridging that part of the positive circuit to the starter motor, and that will actually crank it over. So there we go. It's got no plugs in it, that's why it sounds a bit weak. So, right guys, let's get on with the compression test. We'll start with cylinder 1, and actually I'll put you up on the tripod because it will make it a bit easier for me. Okay, you guys can see that as well. Now, one thing I'm going to do with this, we will crank it until really the needle stops climbing. So we'll give it the best chance it can to build compression. Let's see if it's going to work. Oh. Oh, cock. So that only got to 150 psi, which is not enough. And yeah, I didn't bung the oil cooler up. Well, at least the oil pump works. Fuck. Okay, so my attempt at becoming British Petroleum has succeeded. Now I did just say on camera then that it was only 150 psi, but that is actually gone to 200 psi. So cylinder 1 is healthy. But before I go on to the next one, I'm going to try and do something with this oil cooler. So that's the smashed oil cooler that was on the car. Now that leaks. So I'll try and loop these around somehow. Like it's not running full oil pressure, obviously it's not running, but just try and stop it emptying itself like it still is. God. Okay, it's now 6 hours later. I've looped this around. Now I'm assuming because it's got no oil pressure, that should hold. However, that O-ring's actually split, so it's probably just going to make a mess, but hopefully this reduces the chance of that happening again. I'm pretty confident there's still going to be more than enough oil in it to do this test. I mean, it's not getting hot. So that should all be okay. I think let's get on with it. So cylinder 1 was, I've reset it, but it was just under 200 psi. Let's get on to cylinder 2. All right, cylinder 2, let's try again. That noise is oil running in the rocker cover. Let's put the light back up again. So that one's gotten to 150, 60, 70, 80, between 185 and 190. So not quite as high as the other one, but the other one was probably about 195. All right, that's compression. On to the next one. All right, on to cylinder 3. I know the battery's lost a bit of charge now, but see what it gets to. Okay. Oh, the oil's leaking again. Fucking hell. Wish this light would work. Okay, so that one is just under 190. All right, cylinder 4. Wish me luck. Oh, good. Cylinder 4 doesn't have compression. Oh, man. And we're making a mess. Where are you running out of? I'm running out of there. All right, guys, give me a minute. This is all getting a bit messy and a problem. So I'm gonna try it again. I've pulled a hose clamp off one of the water lines, so hopefully that stops the oil leaking. But let's just see what cylinder 4 does. Man, I really hope this motor's good. There we go. So it's about 130 psi. So this one's fucked as well. Oh, man, may as well check the other ones. Okay, this is cylinder 5. And this is the one that had the dodgy spark plug coming out. Let's see what this one does. So that's 195. And cylinder 6. We'll just get straight on with it because this has all of a sudden become really annoying. Cylinder 6. So 195 on cylinder 6. So we've tested cylinder 4 twice and it's got no compression. I'm just going to rethread it again in case the compression tester wasn't sealing, just in case. Anything. Annoying. Okay. Trying cylinder 4 again for the 3rd time. It's definitely fitted properly. I held it for ages that time. It got up to 150, but it still doesn't respond like any of the other cylinders. So we have a problem with cylinder 4 in two N54s. Well, unfortunately, there's no happy end to this video. This motor was supposed to be the happy continuation while the E92 engine died. Unfortunately, to be honest, I don't know what I'm going to do at this point. I can't afford to build an engine straight away. I bought that car as a spare car, so that if something did happen with the E92 engine, I had a spare one ready to go. But that was still like $4,000, that car, and I still haven't paid that off yet. This is really depressing, but this is the reality of it. I don't really know what to do at this point in time, guys. Might do a video tomorrow, but there's no hiding the fact I can't afford to build a motor right now, and there's no point putting that one in if it's down on compression. I've got the leak tester coming. Hopefully that'll be here this week, and we'll do leak down tests on both motors, but that is unbelievable. I've got 2 motors with compression problems. Sorry for a shitty video, but we do everything very honestly on this channel, and this is not a good thing. Anyway, guys, I'll do another video tomorrow probably, and give you a bit of an update on what I decide to do. But for now, maybe Team S62. Maybe Team S62 is the better option. I don't know what to do. Catch you later, guys.